So hello everybody, welcome back. Finally got a chance to get out in the woods and put together another video. We've talked about shelter a little bit. We did one, matter of fact, just right up the hill over my shoulder here was the first one with a simple tarp lean-to for my hunting area. We also talked about using the poncho to make a alpha tent. So I think we're going to move away from shelter, at least for a while, and go to the next one of the big three, as I call them, shelter, water, and fire, and we'll move on to water. Now the big three are kind of the building blocks of everything else you're going to need in the outdoors if you really think about it. Shelter, your first line shelter with your clothing, and then your actual tent or lean-to, whatever else you're going to use. That's really to maintain our core body temperature. That's what's going to put a barrier between us and the elements. But to maintain our body functions and to help our body maintain that core temperature, we got to have water. Now, experts are kind of all over the board with it. You know, as far as daily intake, anywhere from 2 quarts to a gallon a day. I'd say as long as you were getting that minimum 2 quarts, you're probably okay. So what we'll do today is I'll show you what I'm carrying and why I carry it, and a couple different ways you can use it. So let's get into talking about water. Alright, so kind of got everything dug out of my pack now, so it's a little easier to just grab stuff and talk about. My primary way of carrying and purifying water is simple stainless steel water bottle. I really like this because it's easy to keep clean, and I can simply go to the water source and fill up my bottle and light a fire and boil the water right in here. Alright, so that's the baseline of how I carry my water usually. Now if I'm going out and I'm planning to be out for a longer period of time, what I also have in my pack is a water bladder. So as I'm walking down the trail, the hose, this is inside my pack, and the hose is coming out, and I can get a drink of water on the move. Alright. Now, since between the two, I've only got about enough water for a day. If I want to be out longer than that, then I need a way to purify more. So again, I can just boil water in the stainless steel bottle, or what I've been carrying lately and really like is the Sawyer Mini water filter system. Right? And it really is a system. So the Sawyer Mini water filter itself, just like it says, very small ceramic style filter, and according to the manufacturer, if you take care of it and use it the way it's supposed to be used, you should get up to 100,000 gallons out of this thing. Now, if you do the math on that, that's pretty much forever for one person, okay? Even a couple people, but you got to take care of it. So again, it really is a system. Besides the filter itself, what you get is a little 16-ounce, I believe, bag that comes with it. And what you do is gather your water in this and then screw the filter on it. Make sure you wipe any water off the outside, and then you can squeeze that bag and force the water through the filter into your water bottle or into the water bladder. So that's one way you can use it. It also, again, being a system, comes with a straw, so I can simply hook the straw to the inflow end of it and stick that down on my water source and drink right from the water source. Or I can just gather some unfiltered water in my bottle and drink it out of the bottle if you want to work it that way. Just remember, you're going to have to sterilize your bottle before you drink water out of it straight from the bottle again. and then put the straw off there. What it also comes with is a syringe, a plunger. Alright, so once you've actually used the filter and you're going to put it away, you load it up on your water and you're going to put it away, what they want you to do is use a couple syringefuls of your clean water to backwash, backflush the filter. Alright, and what I found just through trial and error is I'll do one plunger with the clean water and just shake it out, and I'll do a couple more plungers of just air, keep forcing that water out. Then I'll do one more clean and then keep just pushing the air and shaking the filter out until I don't get any more water out of it. I want to make sure I get as much of that bad water out of the back end as I can, and then I can put it away. And that really is it. I don't carry iodine tabs. They're just bitter. I don't like the taste of the water, although they do work. And I don't carry any bleach or anything like that, although those will work also. If you go back into our bug out bag series, we talked about that a little bit. You can also, if you find yourself in a bad situation and you don't have a filter, you can make one. We talked about that again back in the bug out bag series, but just real quick, you can use any container. The easiest being like a 2-liter bottle. You cut the bottom off of it, using some duct tape, some 550 cord, whatever, make you a handle so it hangs upside down. Drill a hole in the cap, you put the cap back on, and then take a piece of bandana, a piece of sock, a piece of cloth, you cut off your clothing, whatever, put that down in the neck. That's going to keep all the filtration media you're going to put into it from running out. And then you simply start with some crushed up charcoal, and you want it crushed up anywhere from powder up to about pea size. You don't want it any larger than that. Get a good couple 3 inches of that, another 2 or 3 inches of sand, and another 2 or 3 inches of gravel. Again, sticking with around the pea size, maybe a little bit larger. And then you want to leave 2 or 3 inches at the top where you're going to pour your water in. Then you simply just take your cup or another container, pour water in the top of it, put the container, your catch container underneath it, and that water will drip through there and you have filtered water. Now again, the field expedient one, just to reiterate this, we said it the last time too, that's just a filter. It's not a purifier. Where this filter will go down to less than a micron, it'll get all the nasties out of it. The field expedient filter is probably not going to get everything, especially any kind of chemicals that might be in the water. So filter it and then boil it. Alright, that's always the safest way to go. Now, one of the other things about my setup that I really like, and we'll set it up here in a minute, but if I'm going to be in, say, a base camp, so to speak, for a while, and my water around where I want to stay is somewhat limited, I'll set up a gravity filter using my Sawyer and my platypus water bladder. Okay, and all I'm going to do is hook my filter up to the hose and fill this up with water from my spring-fed creeks I got running through here, and then I can hang this in a tree and gravity will drip the water through and keep my water bottle full. Alright, and then if I'm going to move out for the day or whatever, I can fill this up, keeping the filter on the end of it, and just drink it through the filter. You just got to remember, once that filter slows down, it's getting clogged up, you'll want to take it off and back flush it, like we talk about every once in a while. So let's see if we can set up this gravity filter. Alright, this takes a little bit, but all I've done is put the corner of my bandana over the fill hole in the water bladder, and got it wet. pushed it down in there. You kind of got to get it wet first so the water will flow through. And it will flow through slowly. But what I'm doing with the bandana is kind of keeping the heavy stuff out. Getting all the little pieces of dirt and leaves and anything else that might be floating around in the water, bugs. Just kind of keeping that out. So, like I say, this is going to take a while. I just want to give you the gist of what we were doing. So we'll come back here in a minute, and once I get the water bladder full, and we'll continue on with setting up our gravity filter. Okay, so it was taking a while. I didn't completely fill it up, but we got a little over a liter in here. So what I did, once I got her filled up, and why I like the platypus over some of the others, like say the camelback, is that the fill hole hose setup that they have, I can actually turn it around from where it is normally running out of my pack. I turn it around the other way, and then it can act as the gravity filter, and I can fill up my water bottle with it. All right. The other thing I like is that they have the older style, real simple bite valve, where all I do is roll back like the silicone cover. I can pull out the core of the bite valve, and it slides right on. So if I get the chance to get back home, clean out the bladder, make sure it's all good, then I can take this off, put the bite valve back on, and I'm back to where I started. Alright, so at this point, like I say, I've filled it up with the water using my cup and a corner of the bandana to kind of filter out the heavy stuff. I wipe down the outside of it to make sure that no water, no unfiltered water, is going to drip down and drip into my container. And then all I've got to do is open up the cap, and clean water starts flowing into my water bottle. Hopefully that's close enough to see. My water bottle wasn't that empty, so there it is. My water bottle's full. And that's all she wrote. And again, if I'm set up for a while, we can leave this set up in camp, and everybody can take their turn keeping their water containers topped off. And then when we have to move out, I can simply just fill it up again, and whenever I need a drink, just open up the cap and drink right out of it. All right? So that's it for now for this video. Covered water, how I carry it, how I purify it. Others may have their own opinions, but either way, there's only one way to learn this stuff, and that's to get out there and do it. So until next time, get out there and practice and stay safe.